I know you here today that are celebrating sobriety already know that you also want to be the healthiest in the world, and that's why we're here. We're here to make a change, and we're here because we already did make a change.
If you expect the state to come in and take care of all your problems, you're going to be there a long time. You have to start taking care of your problems at home first, and that's what we're doing here. I'm Bob Henrich. I'm president of the Native Village of Eyak. We're located in Cordova, Alaska, and I am a fisherman. I had just taken over as president, and this friend of mine who was a counselor here in town came and talked to me, and he said, you know, what do you think about having a sobriety celebration? And I said, what the hell is a sobriety celebration? He says it's celebrating sobriety. And I thought, that sounds interesting. So I talked to our tribal council, and they said, well, let's try it. So we had one, and everybody had such a good feeling when it was done. We decided, well, let's do it again, and it keeps snowballing and seems to get better and better every year. It gives them hope. It shows young people there is another way, because when I was young, Cordova had the highest per capita alcohol consumption in the United States, and people didn't know any better. Many of these young people have been coming there for so long, the connection in their mind is sobriety, good food. And that ain't a bad connection to have. It's a pretty powerful message. And this year we had some very, very powerful speakers.
I'm hoping that one day this will start getting cloned to other villages, and that might be one of the things to look for. We have a problem that we have to be addressing, and I really appreciate the sobriety celebration as being one of those that addresses it. Because we have to address the problem of addictions, and that our people in this great state are really addicted to alcohol.
If we are, as tribal leaders, to follow through on our commitment to our children as our future, we have to break this destructive link to our past. We have to talk about the problems that we face. It's not easy. I get nervous coming up here talking about the issues that faced my family in the past. And we have to develop a method to distance ourselves from that past behavior. We have to learn to acknowledge that these bad things happen to us. We must not learn how to use them as an excuse for our behaviors, though. It's very easy to slip into that trap.
For so long, for too long, I think that we see it, and we see folks getting inebriated, and we just recognize that we had this culture of don't judge other people. It's not your place to judge other people. And so we don't. We let the people continue to drink, continue to do what they're doing, and we don't say, no, you're my cousin or my relative or my friend, you need to stop. We haven't ever gotten to that place. I mean, society tells us don't talk to them about that.
We need to learn how to be kind to each other and avoid blaming and shaming each other for behaviors we think we observe. Instead, as I tell my staff at Chugachmute, we need to be non-blaming, non-shaming, fact-based, non-judgmental, and we need to extend a hand of help.
And so we're in this place now that we have a sobriety celebration for those of you that have chosen not to. And if those of you are here that are still doing it, this is your chance to choose not to.
We need to earn more of each other's trust by treating each other with dignity. We need to learn to forgive, not for the benefit of the perpetrators who hurt us, but for our own benefit, so we can move on. We need to start an epidemic of achievement, an epidemic of accomplishment, of kindness and success. Let's teach each other how to live happy, healthy, and productive lives, just as our ancestors did. Let's start giving, and let's stop the taking that we encounter every day.
I can't say anything good about drinking. I can't think of anything good to say about drinking. It has brought nothing but pain, anguish, and despair among our people.
We lost a lot of our beloved children and young adults to it. What we had to do is what you guys are doing now. We had to bring out our culture. It grounded a lot of people, the interaction of the youth and elders in our community to get them talking about the joy of life, living sober, and living free. What if we took the stones out of our mouth to try to suggest to young kids not to say stop, but talk about our life experiences from the heart? Because we're finding out that's what works the best. Not to criticize them, but just to suggest a different way of going about it. It's those things that kids decide on themselves about what they're going to do when they become of age to do these things like drinking or listening. But as I think the key thing is to get their interest rather than trying to tell them you're going to live your life this way. Live by example and mentor them. But the thing that I like about Cordova's sobriety is that you guys have taken ownership of living by example, but by volunteering, or the tribe has taken it on as a good example of, I would call what's called best practices in Indian country, about working with community, but also look at all the people that are represented here, working with one another.
My hope and prayer to each and every one of you young people is that you'll talk about success in the future. Elders, thank all of you who traveled such great distances to be here, to be a part of this sobriety movement that will change the life and the course of our people to live a better life. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for watching Exploring Alaska. See you next time. For more info about Alaska or our show, check out our website at exploringalaska.com.